saved my life. Did you see all those rocks?
Yeah, dude.
What's going on, guys? It's Justin Fu back again with another video, but this time we took a road trip. Right now we drove about 80 miles from San Diego to Santa Ana, California. Right now we got the Manx, we got Cody's booty, and I'm visiting my good buddy Cody. And I tell you what, Cody's got some toys here. So let's check out some of the stuff that we've been up to today. I'm here with my homie Cody. Cody, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, man? Thanks. My name's Cody Crisp. I'm the owner of Crisp Customs, and we build some bitchin' rides here.
Yeah, exactly. One of the rides is right behind us. This is called the Monster Manx. And I could tell you what it's all about, and Cody could probably do a better job, but we'd rather just show you. Yeah, let's check out this clip.
So these Monster Manx cars are street legal, but they're meant for the dirt.
What a magnificent piece of work that Monster Manx is. Cody Crisp, bravo to you, guy. That thing is simply spectacular. The Monster Manx was like ripping and romping all over all types of crazy rough terrain, from little rocks to big boulders to big whoop sections. And it was going like, 60 to 70, even sometimes 80 miles per hour over these things. Without a problem at all. Anywho, guys, welcome back from the hot and dry and deserty Barstow, California. We're back here now in San Diego, California. I hope you all really enjoyed those two B-roll segment clips that I put together for my buddy Cody Crisp and his company, Crisp Customs. Just as a recap, the two B-roll segments that we put together were the Welcome to My Shop B-roll and then the Monster Manx B-roll, which you guys just saw. And since I've never shot video content for the off-road dirt vehicle industry, I had a lot of learning lessons and takeaways from this specific video project. And I made some notes, and I'd love to share those notes with you at home today. I've tried my best to generalize these notes so that it's not just specific to shooting this specific industry or this type of project. The notes are kind of takeaways that you can apply to any project moving forward. Today we're going to be focusing in on the second segment of the Monster Manx out in Barstow, California, and some of the tips and tricks I took away from that particular concept. So my learning lessons and tips and tricks fall into three different categories. Do your research on the industry before your video project begins. Number two, try to abide by the 3 pass rule, which I'll explain to you in a second. And number 3, handheld versus gimbal. So do your research on your industry before the project begins. The reason why I say that is going into this, I knew that I was going to be doing some type of B-roll for Cody, and we're going to be out in the desert shooting a really fast car. I didn't know really much else other than that. And typically when I shoot B-roll, I like to incorporate a lot of like slow-mo stuff to give it that cinematic, buttery type of feel to it. Now, if I would have done that for this video project, it would have been a complete fail. In doing my research, I talked to Cody, some of his colleagues, and did some research online, and I found out that the best way to shoot these type of videos is to show the vehicle at its full force, full potential in real time. And if I were to shoot every sequence at 60 frames per second, even if it was in 4K, and I, in post-production, slowed everything down and made it all buttery and cinematic, I don't think the audience would have taken away from the clip and said, dang, that's a really badass vehicle that goes fast and it romps and it rips. it would have just been like, oh wow, look at how smooth the vehicle is. It just would have given off the wrong perception and perspective of what that car can do. So after gaining that insight, I changed my strategy around, and what I decided to do was shoot everything in pretty much real time. I shot at 24 frames per second at 4K. In post-production, I didn't do much with any type of time adjustments or motion adjustments. I pretty much just kept it at its regular real-time speed to show off the full force of what the Monster Manx could do. Now, however, if you did notice, I did squeeze in one little clip of some slow-mo. And let me tell you why I did this. I had already gotten a lot of coverage for that shot. So I figured, hey, let me just switch this last pass through over to 60 frames to see if it's gonna make sense later in post-production. And it looked great, and I thought it fit well with the storyline of what we were trying to achieve, so I kept it in. And this brings us to our next topic, which is abiding by the 3-pass rule. Pass meaning pass through, which pretty much means the hero or the main talent of your video project is doing a one particular specific action the same way 3 different times. And your job as the director or the director of photography or the camera operator is to make sure that you get different angles of that action so that you can have options to cut between in the post-production process. For example, let's use the clip we did of the Monster Manx doing a donut around this, scrapped up abandoned car in the middle of the desert. I had Rocky do 3 different passes of him doing a donut around this car. The first pass I got was a really tight shot to kind of get the details of the car doing that like donut motion with the dirt flying up and all that good stuff. The second shot I got was like a more of a wide angle shot where I stood in the middle right in front of the abandoned car as he was doing donuts around me. And then the third shot I got, which is what I call the unique perspective, is I just threw up the drone and we got an overhead straight down shot of the Monster Manx doing a donut around the car. Luckily for me, Rocky was having a blast doing these donuts, so he's like, hey, let's do a couple more. So I had a lot more than just 3 pass-throughs. I had like 6 or 7 of them. So for me, that's just like golden for a videographer to get as much footage from different angles as possible, which really helped me be selective and choose the best clip possible when coming to the final edit. Okay, bonus tip. I know I only said 3, but this is a bonus one. Buy an ND filter. Oh my gosh. If you don't have an ND filter for your camera lenses right now, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to make your videos just that much better. Honestly, the whole footage would have been completely blown out, and having an ND filter saved the production. As you could see during the Monster Manx clip, we were not in a controlled environment with controlled lighting. We were not in a studio. We were outside in the blazing sun at 12 p.m. in the afternoon where the sun was just beaming right down at us. And also when you're filming out in like deserty, dirty areas and there's a lot of wind blowing, it helps protect your lens too. I'd rather you damage a $100 ND filter than a $1,700 lens. So invest in an ND filter for yourself. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Okay, last but not least, what is better, shooting handheld or shooting with a motorized gimbal? It's an ongoing debate that's covered a lot here on YouTube, especially in the videography world. And here's my 2 cents on it. Use what makes sense stylistically for the video concept that you're trying to produce. So that sounds a little ambiguous, but it's the truest answer that I can give based on my personal opinion. You know what? Cody's calling us right now. What's up, Codes? So for the Monster Manx segment of this video, I decided to go 100% handheld. And here's 2 reasons why. So using my hand-eye coordination, gauging the object or the hero doing its action, and my confidence in my camera mobility is really the main impetus as to why I decided to go handheld, to ensure that I got the shot that I needed to make sure that the client was happy. Based on my experience, I know with about 98-99% confidence that after I watch a object or a hero talent do its action one time through, on the second pass I should be able to get that shot 100%. And that's why I follow by the 3-pass rule, because I know in 3 takes I for sure can get the shot. Now, if I were to go gimbal, I probably could have had a bit more of a stabilized shot, but my mobility would have been at risk. See, when you use a gimbal or some type of motorized stabilizer, you're limited by the functionalities of that gimbal. You're limited on how fast you can turn, or if you want to pan up or pan down, or if you want to whip left or whip right. If you're tracking something that's moving really fast, covering a lot of distance in a short amount of time, you don't want to have to rely on, a stabilized motor to be able to keep up with all this stuff. So I decided to reduce my risk and maybe get a little bit more camera shake, but make sure that I got subject in frame on every single shot. And the second reason why I decided to go handheld was a stylistic preference. We're shooting an off-road, dirt, kind of gritty type of video, and I didn't want everything to be like perfect and seamless and smooth. It didn't really fit well with, the natural characteristics of the Monster Manx. So I was okay with getting, some natural camera shake in there. I thought it added a little bit more dynamic to the video. And that's all I have for you today. Here's to recap everything that we just went over. Number one, make sure that you do your due diligence and do your research on your client or the industry before your video project begins. This will be extremely helpful throughout your whole video project process in pre-production, production, and post-production editing. Number two, try to abide by the 3-pass rule as much as possible, making sure that your subject or your hero or the talent does an action at least 3 times the same exact way or as close to as possible, so that you as the director or the director of photography or the camera operator can cover all your angles and make sure that there is enough footage in post-production to get the best video as possible. 3-pass rule. And last but not least, handheld versus gimbal. Sometimes I'm a huge handheld lover. 90% of the time, that's what I like to go for, but sometimes gimbals are required too. Do an analysis and an audit on what the project calls for and make your decision based off of that. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. That's all I have for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked what you watched, give me a huge thumbs up. And if you please can, I'd so appreciate it if you could subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much again for watching, and I hope you guys all be well, be safe, and I'll see you all on the next one.
Ooh, that is sick.